Hi, guys, and welcome to the Horror Room. So, this week I thought we would take a look at not one, but two distribution labels that I have because I don't have quite enough to talk about them separately. I know in the past we've done like Anchor Bay and Blue Underground, and I have a ton of those, but I didn't quite have enough of these to warrant doing a single one. So I said, you know what? I'm going to combine them. I might have to do that with Vinegar Syndrome and Severin as well as some other ones. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I'm still debating about doing Lionsgate. I know that's kind of different than, it's like if I did New Line or Warner Brothers, which I could do eventually, but, I'd like to cover the more unique boutique labels first. So we're going to start with Synapse Films, and then we're going to go to Dark Sky. Wait, oh, not Dark Sky, Shriek Show. I'm sorry. So Synapse seems to specialize in a lot of very obscure movies, which, most of these labels do. Um, but I mean, really obscure stuff that, like, is, kind of hit or miss with the horror community when it comes to, like, movies that they know. Um, right off the bat, we got sequels. The original one was not released by them, or at least if it was, I don't own it. We have Basket Case 2, the sequel to the hit, I think it was early 80s Basket Case, pretty sure. Um, yeah, this came out in 1990. So it's kind of a weird, like, odd man out when it comes to horror. The Basket Case, the first one was, mildly popular. The sequels, though, I don't see people talk about these quite as much. And for good reason. They're a little cheesy. So not only do we get introduced to the rest of Belial's family, we get introduced to his new love interest. Let's see. But yeah, there's like a reporter that's trying to find info out about the family, uh, and gosh, let me say the family has some of the most bizarre, strange monster creature designs I've ever seen. And I think this is the one where they sing on the bus. It might be the third one. Very odd, because you have Granny Ruth, which I don't know. She's like the protector of the family. Besides, Belial and his brother Dwayne. Um, yeah, I haven't seen these movies in quite a while. And while we're on the topic, we have Basket Case 3, The Progeny. This one, I don't think it had a subtitle. Nope, just Case 2. Um, this is when uh, Belial and his wife, which I don't even know, Miss Belial, Eve. Okay, I was like, I couldn't remember if she had a name. It's Eve. Um, they have their own babies. Yay! There's like a whole bunch of gore. It's an over the top movie. But I think you can have a lot of fun with the Basket Case series. The practical effects in it, pretty great. The family does return. I think they kill some people in this one. I can't remember if they do in the second one. Like I said, it's been a while, but I do love them. They're crazy. Uh, they definitely give me some full moon vibes with the terms of like the creature designs and stuff. So if you've never seen the Basket Case trilogy, check them out. Next, we have a very underrated Christmas slasher, and that is Christmas Evil. This movie is a lot of fun. Anytime people bring up, Silent Night, Deadly Night, or Black Christmas, or even Jack Frost, I don't hear anyone hardly ever mention Christmas Evil. This is a fun film that mixes like kind of the elements of like someone that's just kind of losing their sanity around the holidays with your Christmas slasher. The main character, let me see, Harry. Man, he is so good. Like there's a part where he wanders into a party and they assume he's supposed to be there because it's a Christmas party, and he dances and has a good time with everybody, and then he like talks to the kids, and it's like it gets like really creepy, and then like he starts laughing, and everyone's like, "Oh, it was a joke." Uh, but then you have him like stabbing people coming out of a church, or it's either out of the church or caroling. It's crazy, um, but it's a lot of fun. Um, then we have a movie that I had never heard of, or I had heard of it, I just hadn't seen it. And after watching it, I was like, wow, this is a cult hit for a reason. And that is Brain Damage. This is, I believe, yep, Frank Henenlotter. Same guy who made Frankenhooker. Uh, I think he made Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers. I think. I could be wrong. But this is a very unique movie. It's kind of about this little creature. His name is Elmer. And he attaches himself to the back of your head. And he's a very soft, like when you see this creature, you're like, oh, he's probably frightening, hisses or something like a snake. He talks like he's from like the 1950s, and he's like really smooth, and the way he moves is like very elegant. Um, and he basically tricks this guy. He's like, yes, like I could make you feel good, and he's like giving him this drug that basically like allows him to do whatever he wants. And of course, Elmer is feeding on brains. Uh, it gets pretty crazy, but this movie is a lot of fun, especially when he's like trapped himself in a room and he's trying to go cold turkey, and Elmer's just there taunting him. This movie's great. Check it out. Then we have another classic, Shot on Shidio. I know it's technically not, but I put it in the same category. This movie is just goddamn beautiful. I love it. Nail Gun Massacre. This is like a revenge movie, but it's got some of the bad, like the worst puns I've ever heard. Obviously, all involving nails. And, the killer is wearing this ridiculous, like, old camouflage army outfit with a biker helmet, and he's got a gas powered nail gun. Um, So it's like, how is this guy sneaking around killing people and they're not seeing him like coming 20 miles away? Because like the gas tank is like bright yellow. He's wearing army stuff. Like I guess you could be like, oh, he's in the woods. He's gonna blend in, but no, he's not gonna blend in. And the way he talks is like, he's got this deep robotic voice. It's so funny, and he's like always got this ridiculous laugh. But this movie is a lot of fun. I can't recommend it enough. And lastly, but definitely not least, for Synapse Films, we have Rock and Roll Nightmare. Usually I don't keep slipcovers if they're identical, but, I just like how shiny it is. And, it's a fun movie. It stars John Mickle Thor. I think that's how you say his name. And it's basically this rock band that's out in the country to rehearse for a new album, tour, or something like that. And then a bunch of strange stuff starts happening involving like demons and stuff. And I don't want to ruin the ending, but let's just say it's batshit insane. And the music in this movie is like on par with Trick or Treat, the one with Sammy Kerr. Some of the best rock music, it's of its time, it's of the 80s. It's a little cheesy, but it's fun. So Rock and Roll Nightmare, check it out if you haven't. I thought I had one more that was supposed to... Oh, yeah, actually, hold on. I think I did forget to grab that one. Yep, good thing I remembered that. Because I don't know why, it just popped into my head that I forgot to grab this. This is also a Synapse Films movie, and it is also a rock and roll horror movie. It's called Black Roses. Now, I'm going to be honest, I haven't watched this one yet, but I've heard great things about it. And, I mean, I guess... spoiler, this guy's in the movie, this creature. I'm definitely, I can't wait to watch this. There's another movie that I don't own, but along the same lines, I just think it's an earlier film. It's called Terror on Tour, and they're like kind of dressed up like circus clowns, and they're running around killing people. Let me know if you've seen that movie. Is Terror on Tour any good? Because I do want to check that one out as well. So now that we've gotten through the Synapse films, let's take a look at the Shriek Show films that I own. First off, we have Beyond the Darkness, Booyah Omega. This is a very classy film about a guy that murders innocent women, and he's kind of things to do with bodies. It's a little like necromantic, just an Italian take. So, but it does have some good music. The trailer, the music, I can picture it in my head. It's it's infectious. But this is definitely a more dark, disturbing Italian horror movie. I can't show you the most infamous scene where like the skull is melting because like he's melting the bodies, or the woman who's helping him is melting them. But yeah. Oh, I forgot to say, Shriek Show. They specialize in a lot of foreign movies. It seems like, so good on them. You can't have any, or you can't have too many of those labels that put that out there, especially if it's stuff that isn't getting a lot of attention. Much like Booyah Omega. Here's one that didn't get a lot of attention before. Now it seems like almost everybody's released a version of this, and this Burial Ground Nights of Terror. Some great zombie designs and makeup, in my opinion. You got a little blooper on the back there where you can see the zombies getting ready. I don't know if you can see that very well, so that's kind of funny. It also, the strangest character. Where is his name? Peter Bark. Yep, can't remember that, or forget that name. I mean, I did. That's why I had to look it up. Wow. I can't even spoil it, but if you watch one bizarre zombie movie and like you haven't seen Burial Ground Nights of Terror, please. It's so fun, at least to me. Next, we have a cannibal movie. I'm going to cover the cover a little bit, even though it's censored. I just don't want to risk it. It's called Eaten Alive. There's basically a half-naked woman on the front. Like I said, the letters are covering her, but this one, out of cannibal movies, this is the one that I'm always forgetting, like, what happens in this movie. So I'm going to read you the plot. A girl risks, not takes, her life and plunges into a jungle hell in search of her missing sister. Throughout her perilous journey, she must fend off hungry cannibal tribes and avoid being served up as a sacrificial lamb for a good old-fashioned suicide kill yourself. Yeah, I already said it. Yeah, this is a very low-end cannibal movie, but it's fine. I wouldn't be on my recommended list, but if you want to have a marathon, you got to include it. I would just start with that one. It's not as fun. Next, we have a movie that I still haven't watched yet, but the cover caught me. It's part of the Pete Walker collection, which I'm not really sure who that is. Maybe I'm sleeping on Pete Walker movies. What terrifying craving made her kill and kill and kill? Frightmare. This looks like a fun, deranged movie with like a deranged grandma. It might be a British horror movie, I guess. It's got a catalog for Winter 2006 Media Blasters. Let's go ahead and take a look at this real quick. Got an ad for Rare Flicks. Lots of anime. Some adult stuff. Lots of anime. Why is this? This is like all anime. Is there any horror movies? Anthropophagus, okay. The Comeback, The Confessional, One Dark Night. Some box sets like the Jungle of Horrors and Psycho Killer one. Okay. So yeah. And we're going to talk about some of the box sets that they have a little later. So yeah. I'll get to that one eventually. Here's another one that I haven't watched yet. I know I'm terrible. The Oracle, A Power That Is Ancient. You gotta love that kind of cheesy, reminds me of like a classic video you'd see on a rental shelf. This one does not have a catalog, but this could be fun. Moving into an apartment formerly occupied by an old gypsy medium, Jennifer and her husband discover the oracle, which the gypsy used to communicate with the dead. Before long, Jennifer is contacted by the ghost of a murdered man who is seeking revenge on his killers, his wife's lover, and a psychotic transvestite lesbian assassin. Wow. Okay, so this sounds insane. From Roberta Findlay, cult director of Snuff. I have that movie over there. We think we covered it on the Blue Underground one, maybe. But yeah, The Oracle. I'll have to check that one out. That sounds like a lot of fun. Now, the last one before we get to the box sets. Again, it's one of those movies that has been released by a ton of other companies. Blue Underground's released it. But I love this version in particular, and that's Zombie 2, aka just Zombie, but they called Dawn of the Dead Zombie over in Europe, so they had to call it Zombie 2. And this is the 25th anniversary special edition. So not only is it got the original post or a picture of the Conquistador, it comes with a poster, which my poster's hanging up somewhere in here. I think it's it's back there on the bookshelf. But it's a 2-disc set. And I ordered these Fulci Live stickers, and I threw one in here just to, have one. But it also has a little booklet showing off their other titles. These are some that I don't have. Nightmares Come at Night. A little redundant. The Virgin of Nuremberg. Slaughter Hotel. Faceless. I've heard of that one. I haven't seen it, though. Flesh Eater, which I think stars the original zombie, the cemetery zombie from Night of the Living Dead. So that's another one I need to get my hands on. But Zombie 2, classic Fulci film. Who doesn't love a good zombie film, especially this one? But then we have these awesome box sets, which I have 2 of them. This is a Demons-themed triple feature. If I can do that. And then we have the Zombie Pack, which I think there's a second Zombie Pack that I really want to get my hands on. So let's take a look at the Demons one first. We have The Other Hell, which is like demonic nuns. Pretty cool. We have The Ogre, a.k.a. Demons 3. So it has one of them alternate titles, which I'm very certain this movie has nothing to do with Demons 1 and 2. I think this one also goes by Troll 4 sometimes. I could be wrong. But I do remember out of all the movies that I watched, I think this one was the one that was the most interesting. It's been a while since I've watched these, though. Then we have, I don't know if I could, Blame... Wait, who? Oh, Umberto Lenzi. Okay. This one's called Black Demons. I think it's got more of a voodoo twist than, But, that's, I don't know. It might have an alternate title that's not as bad sounding. But, Then we have the Zombie 3-pack now. If Zombie 2 is the classic, then these are the... Oh, gosh. Like we're starting to go downhill. Especially when we get to the end. First, we have Zombie 3. This one, I think, is very underrated. I like this one. It's got some fun action. It's got like a zombie DJ at the end of the movie, which is goofy as hell, but I love it. Got some good music, and it's technically still a Fulci film. It's not as good of a Fulci film, but it's a zombie Fulci film, so there's fun to be had. Then we have this one, which is by Claudio Fragazzo. I think I'm saying his name right. And that's Zombie 4 After Death. This one, it's fine for what it is. It's not great. It's not as memorable. It's not as memorable as other films like Hell of the Living Dead or other films, that I can't remember because they're so memorable. Then we have Zombie 5, Killing Birds. I mean, the artwork is really good, but this movie is really bad. Like, it almost is on the same level as Birdemic. Um, it's just slightly better because it's not crappy CGI. It's just very bizarre. Like, how do you go from zombies to birds? Like, you'd think if anything, it would be birds to zombies. Like, I don't know. So there you have it. There's two labels that I have a good amount of films for. Um, we might just go ahead and knock some more out next week, but I don't know. I might feel something different. You'll have to wait and see. Um, you're probably like, oh, great, more of this. No, I might spread it out a little bit, but hopefully you guys enjoyed. Like I said, there wasn't too many in each, so I just combined them. I'm probably going to do that with the next few, whether we just get them out of the way now or I spread them out to, surprise you with more. Guess you'll have to tune in and find out. So I'll see you next Sunday.